Hi, I'm back. I had to take a little break from YouTube because I had an episode of carpal tunnel syndrome. I'm not sure if it was that or a tendonitis. And I have to admit that buying a Switch and Animal Crossing has contributed very strongly for that. But yeah, so that's that. I had to stop for a bit with all things related to drawing, painting, and of course editing and clicking on a mouse button for so long. But I'm back. I'm trying to ease in and doing things slowly so I don't get back to damage my hands. Oh, by the way, it was like an inflammation of my tendon slash the nerve that connects your hand to your arm and your shoulders and everything. So basically, you should not force it more than it's already very much in distress. So you want to leave it alone and not do anything that would add more tension to it. But I'm okay now. I relaxed for a few weeks. I did very little work, which is always a little bit funky and weird because you're like, if I can't use my hands, then who am I? Like, what am I? But it's okay. I had a long talk with my patrons that really helped refocus everything and help us think beyond working and beyond producing and being productive and being efficient, and just remember that life is so much more than that, and it's so much more than doing things actually. Like, of course our life is made out of actions, but there is still a lot more than a career and work, like for example your relationships. So it's a good time to actually remember that you could just like call people you love, call the people you enjoy spending time and talking to. And that's actually a great thing that doesn't require arms to be working well. So here you saw me sketching and painting and kind of choosing my color palette for I think it was February or January. I don't even know because it's been so long that I filmed this. I think it was my very first patron sticker sheet slash sticker bundle that I made for the Happy Mail tier. I believe it was that. So yeah, it was the very first one, so February. Okay, so I was very interested in like drawing a bunch of flowers and a bunch of colorful. I don't know why it feels like spring. I guess anything that has flowers reminds us of spring, but that was not the point because spring here in Canada is like April. So I was really happy to draw some flowers and have this very like light pastel-y color palette again because I love vibrant colors. I love like throwing colors at your face. But sometimes I just like going back to very light shades and very like simple pastel colors. So yeah, it was very fun to also practice. Like, I have some botanist sketchbooks and just some botanic artworks in general that I really enjoy and love. And it's so interesting to try to simplify everything into a very well, not very detailed form that can still be cute and carry the form, and that you can still recognize what type of plant is that, the species and everything. Just in general, like I did some sketches. I didn't film, I think. I did some sketches of just like portraying the species in themselves, and then I tried to simplify it even more to very minimal style. Not completely minimalistic because I still have lots of things around it, but kinda. You know what I mean, because you're literally looking at it as I speak. So this whole thing kind of left me wondering. Now it makes me think even more of like the progression of an artist or of an art style, let's say like that. Because when I began kind of getting more serious into drawing, I would try to pretty much draw it not 100% hyper realistically, but somewhat realistic style. And I would just like be copying something as best as I can. And it felt weird because I didn't like doing that. Like, I love the process because, well, it's still drawing, it's still painting, it's still like translating something into the way you see it and trying to match like the values and trying to match the form and the proportions. And it was still fun because all of that is still fun. If you draw, you know what I mean. Like, the process of doing that is fun, but in a way, it didn't feel like me. Because even though, yeah, it's me, the person who's doing all that, it's still me. But in a way, it's like anybody could do a realistic study. Anybody could do a copy of something that's right in front of them. So it lacks some sort of personality, I think. It's weird because everything you do has your touch because it's made by you. But at the same time, it could look very similar if you're just trying to copy something. I mean, I understand that that has to happen because if you're learning, it's too much to be learning about a subject and how to completely make it you and learn the skills at the same time. So it makes sense that you let go of one of those two things, like the creative side, and then you focus on the skill set, because it kind of makes it easier for your brain to have less stuff to learn all of a sudden, and it makes sense. But at the same time, you don't feel very connected to your pieces because they just feel like, yeah, just one more thing that looks like a photograph, but it's not. And then I remember being so confused because I was trying to analyze the kind of drawings and paintings from other people, other artists that I like, but then there were so many styles and so many different things that it's hard to do like a mix and match of all of those things. But then I kind of tried to pinpoint what is it that they all have in common, so then I could start practicing those things into my illustrations. It was very shocking to realize that I actually enjoy simple, flat painting with little to no shadows, and to think that I was doing the exact opposite, like doing realistic stuff with tons of variations in shadows and tons of colors. It was confusing, but I slowly began to approach my pieces differently, doing less and less and less. It was a whole process. Well, it still is. It's hard to find that balance. And that's where I started getting really, really excited about drawing again and about spending more time drawing and like, yeah, just picking up a painting to finish and to render. It was way more fun. Plus, the final result is just way more refreshing to me in a way because I really enjoy flat colors. So that's that. That's a little rambling about about finding something in nature that's really, really inspiring to me. But at the same time, I don't want it to be exactly how it looks like. And now that I'm saying it out loud, it just means that we're not really comfortable with the way we're putting the thing that we see, we're translating it on paper or canvas, whatever you're doing, like digital canvas, which means we're not really liking or enjoying the way we do it, which is could be basically said as you're not really enjoying your style. But then again, the style conversation is very long and so detailed because the style is just the way you do things, and you always have a way of doing things. You might not like it, but you already have it. And I think the art journey and like doing something for a long period of time, that's what it means. Like, you're constantly gonna be adapting and evolving your way of doing things. I feel like the whole journey of finding styles that are comfortable to you and that you enjoy looking at and producing, plus switching back and forth into those styles and being comfortable with, like, I look at something, a sketch, let's say, or a subject, and then I understand that I want to draw that or to paint that in a specific style, or at least I want to experiment with that specific style, I think that's when art becomes a little more fun, because you're not confused, you're not constantly in doubt of what you should do and how you should go about something. And I know it feels really, really simple, because for some people they just never think about it. It's just like straight on. I look at something and I know what to do, and I have a piece of paper and I would just like flow into it and draw exactly what I already know how to. Like some people just don't think about styles and don't think about how they want to do. They just do it. And I believe this is it's a personality thing. Like some people like to plan ahead and to know exactly what they're gonna do. It's not stiff, it's not limited, it's just a little bit planned. And some others just like to go straight into it and not really think about anything. And that always makes me wonder so much, because I just love colors, but I can never just jump straight into it, because it bothers me so much, the thought of having a color that I didn't like, that I won't enjoy looking at. This is so funny, how people can be so different and have so many different approaches to the same thing, drawing and painting. And I believe that's why a journey in art, it's so interesting and like endless and full of possibilities and so magical, because it doesn't mean that because you have a style, because you have a way of doing things, you're gonna do that forever. You could literally just like change anytime and experiment anytime and find out that you like something else, and it's completely okay and part of it. Like we all know that we can either stay doing one style forever or completely change everything whenever you want. And just the thought of it is like insane to me. The thought that there's so much to learn and to do and to practice and to experiment, and you can literally change anytime, any way you want. It's like it's not that many things in life that have so many like branching out and exploration to do, and I just love it. Or maybe there are, I just don't think about them. Because, well, we tend to think about things that are more interesting to us and things that catch our attention. So I see it in drawing and painting, but some people see it in cooking or dancing or so many things. It's wow, life is really incredible, right? And I have no idea why I went on so many tangents, but well, I think sometimes it's more interesting to just express something that you think, and maybe that'll resonate with some of you, and maybe that'll like make you think about something that you hadn't thought before. Because you know, some people just put words in a sentence in a way that you haven't put before or you haven't heard before, and it just clicks and something becomes like easier, or I don't know, just it just becomes fresh, and that's inspiration and motivation, and that like strikes a chord to you, and then suddenly you feel something different, and I love that. I live for that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. These two paintings were actually one for one of my patrons, and another one is an art trade with Nicole Josephine. I really like her art. It's like very colorful. We like the same colors, and I love that she also recorded one of her paintings that she made for me. We did like an art trade thingy, and I just really enjoyed watching it. She's so nice. So of course I'm gonna put her info on the description box if you want to check her out, if you haven't already. And I hope you enjoyed the video. It was very lovely to film it. I really enjoyed painting those two happy girls. So I'll see you in the next video then. Bye!